Did you know that Donald Trump has not visited a single natural disaster site since he took office in January? I mean, he's had time to go to the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500 on the taxpayer dime. I mean, he had time to spend 40 of his first 147 days in office golfing. That's 27% of the days that he was president. He spent golfing. By the way, that cost the American taxpayer almost $40 million. And if he continues to golf at that same rate throughout all 4 years of his presidency, should he last that long, he will have spent $500 million on golf. $500 million of your tax money and my tax money. It's also important to note that he golfs at his own golf courses. So then his golf course charges the American taxpayer. So he's just funneling money into his own businesses that way, taxpayer money. And not only while he's been too busy to visit Americans in the wake of natural disasters, has he been to the Daytona 500, Super Bowl, golfing extensively, all on the taxpayer dime. He also had time to throw himself an extravagant, grotesque dictator-style military parade for his 79th birthday, to the tune of somewhere between $45 and $90 million. And all of this is paid for by our taxes. And yet Trump is saying that we need to get rid of FEMA, that there's not government money to help American citizens, American businesses, American communities in the wake of natural disasters. I mean, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a very basic function of the federal government to me. That sounds like a really good use of our taxpayer money to make sure that decent, hardworking Americans get help and support after they experience floods, wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes. So not only can Trump not be bothered to go and visit folks and provide them comfort, that's what the president always has done after natural disasters. He has gone and visited to see for himself the devastation, provide comfort to folks, and to help make sure that aid gets to them. But not only is Trump not willing to visit, he's not willing to give them any relief money, and he's trying to get rid of FEMA altogether. I'm going to quote a little bit here from a piece in the Huffington Post. On February 14th, windstorms and torrential rains caused flooding and mudslides in Kentucky and West Virginia, killing 25 Americans. Trump did not visit the affected communities, but he did spend the following 5 days playing golf at his own clubs in South Florida. Exactly 1 month later, strong winds, tornadoes, and wildfires wreaked havoc across Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi, leaving 34 Americans dead. Trump, again, did not visit, but instead he spent that weekend at his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida, and then the following weekend at his club in Bedminster, New Jersey. And on May 16th, again, tornadoes and heavy rains ravaged Missouri and Kentucky. This time, 25 Americans died. But Trump did not go to visit either state. He did manage to play a round of golf at his course in Virginia and another at Bedminster. Almost 100 Americans have died in dozens of tornadoes, straight-line windstorms, floods, and wildfires since Trump took office January 20th. None of them have merited a presidential visit. While Americans are suffering and dying in natural disasters around the country, Donald Trump is using our taxpayer money to pay his own businesses so that he can go golfing. It's worse than that, though, because there were places that experienced natural disasters that had been promised FEMA funds, and Trump has withdrawn them. For example, where Tropical Storm Helene hit North Carolina. On January 24th, Trump told them, "We're going to give you the resources you need and the support that you deserve, and we'll be at your side every step of the rebuilding." He lied to them when he said the highest responsibility and deepest obligation of the American government is to protect its people, and that's never truer than in times of emergency like this. In the 5 months since Trump made that statement, not only has he delivered $0 in aid to North Carolina, that includes billions of dollars that was allocated in a spending bill in December before Trump took office that were supposed to be sent to North Carolina. So not only is he not giving them any of the aid he promised, he is withholding aid that Congress and the Biden administration promised for cleanup efforts. In fact, on May 22nd of this year, FEMA told North Carolina Governor Josh Stein that Trump was not going to give them any money. Governor Stein attempted to appeal directly to Trump for that funding, $2 billion that was promised for cleanup costs. FEMA and Trump said, it's not warranted. You no longer get that money. Your state is overburdened. You're about to experience what's going to happen when we slash Medicaid and SNAP and other benefits. You're not going to get that funding anymore. And now you've got to figure out how to fund these cleanup costs all on your own. Extreme burden for the citizens of North Carolina. Last week, Trump told reporters, quote, "We want to wean off FEMA." It's extremely expensive, Trump said. And again, when you have a tornado or a hurricane or you have a problem of any kind in a state, that's what you have governors for. So Trump says it's too expensive to take care of American citizens in the wake of natural disasters, and yet he is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on his own entertainment, on going to the Super Bowl, on going to car races, on going golfing, on giant military parades. There have been dozens of new storms and fires in states that voted heavily for Donald Trump, and yet he cannot be bothered to visit them. He cannot be bothered to extend FEMA aid. In fact, he has told governors like Josh Stein, like Governor Huckabee in Arkansas, no, you're not getting any FEMA money from us. Trump doesn't have any loyalty to you. He has no loyalty to the states that went for him, no loyalty to Republican voters, no loyalty to Republican governors. This article says it's unclear why Trump has chosen not to visit the stricken communities, which historically have been one of the basic duties of the president. Is it unclear? Is it unclear why he's not going? He doesn't give a shit about the American people. He does not care about our suffering at all. In fact, men like Trump enjoy suffering. They enjoy the chaos and cruelty that they are intentionally inflicting. Last week, Trump basically said it's up to state governors to take care of their states in the wake of natural disasters. The federal government will not be helping them. He wants to do away with FEMA altogether. We're moving back to the states, so it's the governors can handle it. That's why they're governors. Now, if they can't handle it, then they shouldn't be governor. The poorest states in this nation are red states. They vote heavily for Trump. Again, we can talk about that's because there really aren't red states and blue states. There are purple states that have extreme voter suppression that end up going red. But it's the red states, the poorest states in this country, that are in places like Tornado Alley, are in the path of hurricanes, that are more likely to experience flooding. Those are the states that Trump is leaving hung out to dry. He does not have any loyalty to you whatsoever. Again, let's not forget that Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee, who was someone who worked in the first Trump administration, she was his press secretary, y'all. She begged him for aid after there was a set of tornadoes on March 14th. And Trump initially denied FEMA money, and she made a special request like, please give us FEMA money. And he said, no, I'm not going to. She had to keep going back and groveling and begging. And eventually, I think it was such a bad scene, the publicity was so bad, that 2 months later, on May 14th, that section of Arkansas was finally given a disaster designation. It's still not clear whether they have gotten all of the funds that they need, or, whether they're going to, because Trump says it's up to the governors now. The federal government's not helping. We also saw Josh Hawley, a Republican senator from Missouri, who had to, as he says, push Trump repeatedly to win disaster declarations in the wake of the storms, including one that went through St. Louis. But they're not getting any money. That's just to get the area declared a disaster zone. Trump is not giving them FEMA money. Donald Trump does not care about the functioning of American society. He doesn't care about the suffering of American citizens. He is not doing anything to make this country great again. He is doing everything to enrich himself off of our suffering. I want to leave you with a quote from the end of this article. Donald Trump cares so little about the America he promised to fight for that he'd rather spend time cheating at golf than helping the victims of Helene. However much money his businesses manage to steal from taxpayers, he'll always be broke where it counts. He doesn't have money for FEMA. He says it's too expensive, but he's got money for golf. He's got our money to use on golfing. There's no money to help Americans in the wake of natural disasters, but there's money for him to go to the Super Bowl. There's money for him to go to car races. There's not money to help America's towns, schools, fire departments, hospitals recover in the wake of natural disasters. There's not money for America's businesses to rebuild in the wake of natural disasters. But there's money for him to have giant military-style, dictator-esque birthday parades. There's not money for a basic functioning of the federal government, but there's endless money for Trump to play golf at his own courses.